There should be somewhere upon earth a place that no nation could claim as its sole property. A place where all human beings of goodwill, sincere in their aspiration, could live freely as citizens of the world, obeying one single authority, that of the supreme truth. In 1954, the mother, spiritual collaborator of Sri Aurobindo, the great Indian visionary, yogi, and prophet of a new evolution, formulated her dream. 14 years later, on February 28, 1968, thousands gathered at dawn in an amphitheater near a lone banyan tree on a bare, sun-baked plateau of South India for the foundation ceremony of Auroville, the city of dawn. As the words of the Auroville Charter, read out by the mother, were broadcast live to those gathered on the plateau, and soil from 123 countries, as well as from Tibet and 23 Indian states, was placed in a raised marble urn, a dream, like an answer to the call of countless ages, was born again on Indian soil. His Holiness the Dalai Lama first visited Auroville and met the mother in Pondicherry in 1973. On that visit, he had been shown Auroville's first schools, as well as the foundations for the Matrimandir, a construction envisaged by the mother as the center and soul of the city to be. 25 years later, on his second visit to Auroville, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama of Tibet, shared his belief in a world without national boundaries.
And also, you see, I'm a person, as a person, who believe in reality, hardly no national boundary. All humanity is same. If we look from space, there is no significance about national boundary. And also in reality, now today, I think because of population and because of modern economy and the technology, now I think in reality, now world truly is become just like one human family. We need some kind of, universal sense of universal responsibility. And also I noticed here is a very, very good harmony or good relation with local people. And many local Indians seems to be fully participated and enjoy working with the Westerner. So this is very good. So you have the spirit of community.
But the first years were difficult ones, as the pioneering settlers who moved out to the Auroville Plateau were confronted by a land that was severely eroded. A massive program of tree planting, combined with an integrated program of water and soil conservation, has produced remarkable results, and young forests have returned to what was once a dying wasteland. Today, over 1,000 people from 23 different nations are residents of Auroville, and over 50 communities spread out over some 20 square kilometers. Activities are varied and frequently research-based, ranging from experimental approaches to education, to architecture, town planning, and afforestation, but also include income-generating units in the fields of computer design, handicrafts, and electronics. Over the last 10 years, contacts between the community of Auroville and the Tibetan community in exile have been ongoing. Green workers from Auroville have over the last years visited and provided training programs in different southern settlements. Training programs and seminars in different aspects of sustainable development, education, building construction, and healthcare, particularly dentistry, held on a regular basis in Auroville, have been attended by Tibetan monks and laymen alike. Tibetan delegates participated in an international youth seminar sponsored by UNESCO in 1985. Dr. Tenzin Chedrak, the personal physician to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, along with a team of doctors from the Tibetan Astro and Medical Institute in Dharamsala, offered a 6-day workshop in Tibetan medicine in Auroville in 1989. Auroville has also hosted performances by monks of Tibetan sacred music, as well as dances and opera by the Tibetan Institute of Performing Arts. The mother saw the international zone of Auroville, one of the 4 zones of the township, as an area where the cultures of the different regions of the earth will be represented in such a way as to be accessible to all. This would be done through pavilions, exhibits, and products that would best express a culture's intellectual and artistic genius and spiritual tendencies. In February 1991, monks from the Gyumed Monastery consecrated the site of the Tibetan Pavilion. The Dalai Lama's return to Auroville in December 1993 to lay the foundation stone of the Pavilion of Tibetan Culture was like a confirmation of the contacts and the ongoing link that has existed between Auroville and the Tibetan community in exile. An unseasonal, but for many auspicious 5 days of non-stop rain had turned many of Auroville's dirt roads to mud, but had led up in time for the arrival of His Holiness, who had driven down from Madras. At Fourcomers, the first Auroville community to be settled in 1968, he met some of the community's inhabitants and was given a tour of the community's tree nursery, where seeds and saplings of hundreds of different species of trees are raised for distribution. He was also shown the community's experimental worm farm, set up to investigate ways of raising worms using biogas slurry that are then used to help in regenerating and enriching soil.
So usually 2 worms join and then they multiply. Now it is possible if you cut the worm in the right place, you can have 2 worms. But because they're
So do you cutting here?
no chemical.
At Petanga, a community cultural center, His Holiness met 9-year-old Dzong Rinpoche, the reincarnation of the highly respected and revered head Lama of Ganden Monastery. He then went on to look at an exhibition of photographs of Tibet by the famous award-winning Indian photographer Raghu Rai. The mother has said that Matrimandir is here to teach people that it is not by escaping from the world or ignoring it that they will realize the divine in life. Matrimandir must be the symbol of this truth. His Holiness meditated for a few minutes in the now completed inner chamber, where a ray by mirrors onto an optical crystal in the center of a bare, white, 12-sided room with 12 columns. His last stop was at the Matrimandir nursery, where he was given an explanation on techniques used in raising orchids in Auroville.